What leadership skills do you find most useful?
Para sa akin, ang useful na leadership skills is yung motivation. Kasi kapag marunong ka mag-motivate, as a leader, marunong ka mag-motivate, ma-encourage mo sila na magawa yung mga task nila para ma-achieve yung goal ninyo. Kasi kung walang motivation, may goal ka pero walang motivation, hindi mo ma-encourage yung team na mag-participate.
I find the most useful one to be communication. Communication makes people talk now. And if people talk, then people can cooperate, organize, and even create wonderful stuff.
So I think in every business there's a different approach, and in every business there's a different kind of skills that you must have. But I think the most important one is communication. So having a clear, friendly, and direct communication is essential. So especially when you're dealing with staff, suppliers, and customers, so having that skill can also helps you prevent misunderstanding, and that can also helps you build trust with your staff, and also with your customers, and also with your investors if you are into investing.
How do you describe your leadership style?
Sa akin kasi is always ako yung as a leader, kailangan maging role model ka. Kailangan ikaw yung titingnan nila para kung ikaw yung role model, ikaw yung nagsa-take as sample, ikaw yung active, may positive mindset, gagayahin ka ng mga ka-team mo, yung mga members mo.
Leadership style. Well, I'm a bit of a hands-off person, so I'll say laissez-faire, because I think the people's potential is much more worth it than a leader being, well, controlative.
So, as a first-time coffee shop owner, I describe my leadership style as a hands-on, supportive, and people-focused, because I think that's the three most important thing when you're starting a business. So I believe in leading by example, whether that means jumping behind a counter during a rush, or stepping in to help a new team member get comfortable with the workflow. And also, since this is my first time running a business, I'm very open to like feedback, and always learn, and I'm always learning. So every day is a learning curve. It's a learning process. So I try to create a positive environment where the team feels respected and valued. I encourage open communication, and I check in regularly to make sure everyone's supported. At the same time, I set clear expectations around service quality, cleanliness, and teamwork. So teamwork is very important when you're building a business.
How do you make sure projects and tasks stay on schedule?
Always gagawa ka ng calendar of activities, and i-list mo yung priorities sa list priority para at least yung mas important na kailangan mo munang ma-achieve, yun yung uunahin nyo. And yung calendar of activities, yun yung magiging guide mo para ma-achieve mo yung deadline.
Well, it's simple, really. All I have to do is look for my subordinates and what they are doing, if they need my advice or capabilities to do so. Other than that, I mostly try to just see if they can do it or not.
So as a first-time entrepreneur, I make sure projects and tasks stay on schedule by focusing on clear planning, consistent communication, and agile execution. I start by breaking down the larger goals into smaller, actionable tasks with specific deadlines. So this helps me and the team see progress and stay focused on what matters most. So I'm a very organized kind of person. I always set my priorities when I needed to do something.
How do goals help you become a better leader?
Yung goals kasi yun yung direction mo yun yung pupuntahan mo. So, along the way, each step, may challenges yun So, kapag yung challenges nalalagpasan mo at na-meet mo yung goal mo, ibig sabihin, isa kang good leader.
Well, that's simple. Well, if you do more stuff, you get to be, you tend to be better, right? Well, that's just for me too. And not just for me, myself, but also for the whole community. I think if we surpass or met our goals, not only my team and me will become better, but also the whole village.
As a first-time entrepreneur, goals keep me focused on what matters most, especially when there are so many moving parts and competing priorities. So the key is time management and goal setting.
How do you handle disagreements on your team?
Kapag may disagreements, kailangan you have to face it. Kailangan harapin mo siya. Kailangan you gather yung team, kausapin mo sila, hear their concerns, tapos with that concerns, i-weigh mo siya, i-balance mo yung each opinion, and then you have to decide kung ano yung better na maging solution dun sa disagreements nila. And then discuss to them your solution and make them agree.
Alright, disagreement can be a variety of things. It can be big or small. And for all purpose and reasons, I just try to listen to them, hear their woes, hear what I think could be the solution, and try to give them that.
Disagreements are natural, so it can happen to anyone, into every business. So when building something new, I handle team disagreements by first creating a space where people feel safe to speak up. So I listen carefully to each perspective without rushing to a conclusion, because often the best ideas come from constructive tension.
What was the difficult decision you had to make as a leader, and how did you come up to that decision?
Pinakamahirap kong decision nung nagtatrabaho pa ako is nung nag-resign yung manager namin. So ako kasi is group head, then unit manager yung nag-resign. In-offer sa akin yung position na maging unit manager. So sa unit manager, mas malaking responsibilities yon. So bilang leader, mas magiging leader ka pa lang isang malaking team, yun yung medyo mahirap na desisyon. Kasi magkakaroon ka ng sacrifices, like kailangan mo mag-dedicate ng more time. So, pero tinake ko siya. Why? Kasi opportunities yan eh. And may improve din yung way of leading mo with that. Kasi may kasama syempre improvement din yan sa compensation. So, nag-decide ako to accept yung challenge as mag-lead ng isang mas malaking team.
The most difficult thing is just compromise. Compromising is really difficult because you have to placate two of the sides, whether it be me or the council. And because of that, it's quite difficult to see if we have a common ground on each other.
Decision I had to make as a first-time entrepreneur was letting go of a team member who wasn't a good fit culturally or to the team. So even though they were technically skilled, it was specifically hard because we were a small team and every person felt critical. So, but over time, I noticed their approach was creating friction, slowing collaboration, and affecting team morale. So, when things go that way, you don't have to, or you cannot just jump into conclusion. So, you have to have several one-on-one conversation to give feedback and understand their perspective. But when things didn't improve, you have to realize that holding on too long was hurting the bigger vision and the rest of the team.
Discuss a leadership challenge you faced and what you did to overcome it.
Mas malaking team na yung hinandle ko, so mas malaking responsibilities. Paano ko siya na-handle? Kailangan mo ng mas maging dedicated ka sa trabaho, hardworking, and kailangan mas ma-improve mo yung motivational skills mo para lahat ng under you, mapagalaw mo sila.
The most difficult challenge still is settling disputes and which dispute should be prioritized. In all honesty, it's always difficult to see which dispute will be the problem in the future or today. And so far, me and my team have done a pretty good job on it thanks to cooperation and coordination of all sides.
One leadership challenge I face as a first-time coffee shop owner was dealing with staff conflict during peak hours. So two team members had very different work styles. One was fast but a bit disorganized, and the other was slower but very methodical. So their tension was starting to affect the energy on the floor and even customer service. At first, I tried to let them work it out on their own, but I realized it wasn't improving, so I sat down with each of them individually to listen to their concerns and then brought them together for a calm, honest conversation. So I also restructured some shift roles to play to their strength. One focused more on barista work, the other on prep and quality control. That small change plus regular check-ins helped ease the tension and boosted overall performance. So this experience taught me that as a leader, avoiding conflict doesn't solve it. You have to face it with empathy and clarity. It also reminded me how important it is to understand your team's personalities and strength, not just their skills.